It's interesting. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala teaches by signs. And nowadays, you have so many things are happening in the world. You had the earthquake last week in Mexico. What was the earthquake last week? Yeah. You had a hurricane coming here. You had Harvey that hit Houston in Texas. I were in the Philippines looking at the people in America. And I'm sitting there and saying on television, I'm looking at it, a whole different picture. And I'm saying that once upon a time, we used to see this kind of flood in Bangladesh and India. When you would look at the news flash in America and in the western parts of the world, you would think that these kind of floods, people in India are dying from floods in Bangladesh. Now you're sitting and you're looking right here in Houston, in America, the most powerful democratic country in the world, with skyscrapers and technology and engineers and scientists. But nobody could stop the flood? Can't we think? These are signs from Allah for us to reflect on. The flood in a country like this. The winds are coming here in South Florida. All you can see, the winds coming. The meteorological office can just tell you, well, it's heading here, it's heading there, and this is what we see, but we don't know what will happen after. It can go this way, it can go that way. But they can't stop it from happening. All the powerful president of this country, all the engineers and all the technological minds, they can never come together, and even if they come together to stop the hurricane from blowing, they can't. And that's why we got to understand that this is from the Qudrat and the power of Allah. And it's important that we keep in connection with the Creator, Allah. We take these things very lightly, like one of the things that just passed by. This is not a very easy thing, my brothers and sisters. When the hurricane comes, we were taught that with the hurricanes come good, and it also brings disasters and difficulties for some. So some people benefit a lot. FPL probably making a lot of money, the workers. The hardware's, Lowe's and Home Depot make a lot of money. But there are a lot of people who lose a lot of money. So some benefit and some lose. See how the hadith comes in play? And the Prophet ﷺ has advised us to pray that we will benefit from the good that comes with this rain and this hurricane. I know the hurricane is gone, but the creator of the hurricane is Allah, and He can remind us again. He can cause many more hurricanes. He can cause anything to happen. He does not even need a hurricane to teach us a lesson. We can just fall into a difficulty and a calamity and a disaster without Hurricane Irma. But we got to use these signs, my brothers and sisters. Use these signs to reflect, to have that fikr, that pondering over the powers of Allah. And use that to reflect on what am I doing? What am I not doing to please Allah? As I said, I was sitting there, whenever the times we could have, because of the difference of hours and time in South Korea, it's almost 12, 13 hours different to here. So when it's 12 midday here, it's 1 a.m. in the morning there. And we're seeing the news and what's happening here. And I'm looking at the millions, and you hear the news, you keep on hearing the millions and the millions of people that are leaving their homes and leaving and going. And I'm like, subhanAllah. You see, sometimes when you are among the millions, you don't really reflect because you're just worried of what's happening around you. And I'm sitting there in another country, in the other end of the world, and I'm saying, look at all these people in South Florida. They're millions. They got homes that worth millions. And they got to leave their millions of dollars of homes and go. But when you are in that, you can't see it. Because all you're worried about is running from this hurricane to save your life and the lives of your families. That's what we got to do. But I'm looking there of the millions, and I'm saying, Ya Allah, because I don't have to run and I don't have to move. So I'm thinking there now, Allahu Akbar, all these people, 24/7, that's all they do. What do people do 24/7? Your job, your business, your career, to be a doctor, to be an engineer, to be a businessman, whatever it is, it's all about how to earn the mighty dollar, to build this almighty dollar house. 24/7, the fikr and the worry of people is about how we build our homes and how we buy properties and how we put money in the bank. And I'm seeing everybody just leaving that and going. I'm like, why don't you take your house and go? How many people did you see pick up their $1 million house and go with it? You got to leave it. When Allah says go, it's go. And that's just Allah's wind. That's just the wind. And the rain. The very same wind that we enjoy. Relax and go by the seaside to enjoy the wind. And the very same water that you go and enjoy in the beaches and the sea. And the very same rain that we stand and we enjoy its water. There was a time we got to run from that. See the power of Allah. These are signs for us to contemplate and ponder over, my brothers and sisters. I know it has gone, but these are signs. People got to leave. Think about what you're living for. Your homes or cars, property, money, bank. Nobody has time to run into the bank and say, give me my $1 million, let me bust it from the state. You leave the money in the bank, you leave the cars, you just take your family and you got to bust it. From the east, head into the west, not knowing the hurricane is coming in the west. Allahu Akbar. I know there were people who were calling their family members down in the east here in South Florida, and they would say, come up by us. The hurricane is hitting you guys. On the southeast here in Florida, come up by us in central Florida. Come up by us up in that area. Not knowing the wind, Allah just, by His command, kun fayakun, be and it shall be, and it just did and took the direction takes straight to them. That's how Allah works. That's why we need to connect with Allah. That's a very serious thing, my brothers and sisters. But, sometimes I think I'm just mad, and people probably think I'm gone loco, majnoon, pagal, crazy. When you talk these kind of things, it's hard to digest. It's really hard to digest in the hearts of human beings. Because Allah says that, Innal insana li rabbihi lakanud, that certainly human beings are ungrateful to Allah. We don't check the bounties of Allah, the favors of Allah, the things that we get from Allah. We don't contemplate on what Allah can do. We just look at things in front of us.